came from this department, he started from where you are seated. Okay? And now he's working as a general. Please help me welcome Mr. Shekhawa.
Hi guys, how are you? Can you hear me at the back? Perfectly. Okay. There's a lot of things that's happening in the world. Like there's a lot, the economy, there's diseases, people are dying, you name it. It's impossible these days to open up TV and not see something sad, right? And I came to a realization that our frustrations, or our biggest frustrations and our parents' frustrations, don't come from God. They were made by humans. Okay? So I'm just going to repeat that for someone who missed it. Our biggest frustrations, or our parents' biggest frustrations, don't come from God. They come from human, right? To put in a little context in this, I don't know how many people who still have their family members working. Like you have a grandma that's still working. Like you have a grandfather that's working 2 jobs. Or you have a mother that's still working, trying to turn your dreams into a reality, right? And they come home, right? They come home frustrated, right? I can't believe Mr. Edward made me work that hard. I can't believe that my boss spoke to me that way. You know, if you talk about work, I'm going to lose it, right? They come with a lot of those. And let me tell you something. Everybody in this room today, I'm speaking to someone. Everybody in this room today, or someone in this room today, we are about to be a rehab for our hurting generation. So they're suffering. We're about to heal it. And today we're about to unlock your greatness, right? So today I'm going to give you 6 steps to unlock your greatness, okay? So I'm going to start by this. I come from a small village and all of that stuff. And I know when I walked in here, I should have introduced myself. But when I was walking right here, I realized it's not about me. Because I said where you're sitting currently. Like I had my time. Now, history runs through you. I had my time, right? So initially, before we get in this, right, I'm going to give you the first step, is you got to speak to him. We all got to believe in something, right? So you got to speak to him. You got to talk to him. Like, I don't care how you speak to him. You might speak to him differently than how I am, but you got to speak to God. Because you know what? You might want something, but God gives you what you really need. Right? And let me tell you something. After you speak to him, right? After you confess that, God, this is what I really want. I go into public and I like, you know what? I'm okay. I don't really want to be that successful, and we aim low. But when after you speak to him, you got to have faith, because faith is the substance of all things hoped for, right? You're hoping for something, and you got to have faith, because at some point in life, there's something that you really want that no human at that point can give you. Like you want to make it, like you want to be great, like you want to improve some certain habits or whatsoever, like you want to make it. But you know what, you're like, yo, God, I need your help in this one. So you got to speak to him. But after you have faith, bear this in mind, you got to come back and you got to put in work. Because you know what? Nothing's going to work if you don't. Okay? So you got to come back and you got to put in work. And let me tell you something. Great is he in me than he that is in the world. You can make it, right? And I don't know if you're going through a storm or coming through a storm. And like when I was sitting there, like I had my own issue, I had financial issues. And I know there's some people that are sitting right here, you don't know when your next payment is going to come up, right? There are lectures that are sitting right here, they're not happy where they are or whatsoever, right? He says, be still and know that I am God. So I got this. So whatever that you can control, you transfer to him, and you come back to life and you control what you can control, right? Because this is a hand in hand. If you want to make it, you're going to need him. I don't know how long you've been trying to be successful, and you have obviously been not doing it without him. Some people obviously have been praying, and this is why you're here today. What you know today got you here. But to get out of here, you might get some knowledge, or you might need to get some knowledge. You might need to get some new knowledge, all right? So you got to speak to him. And the second thing today that I would like to say is fight your insecurities. Work on your insecurities. Not so long ago, I was speaking to a friend of mine, right? I think it was a stranger, not a friend. And we talking and we get in relationships, right? And I got to the fact that he feared that he was going to lose like his lover at that point to someone who has more money. And my advice was, get more money. Work on yourself, build yourself. Because you know why? Then you would never lose to someone who has more money than you. Like, I don't know what your biggest insecurity is currently. You might have a car and you don't know how you're going to pay that off. You might have kids to send to school and you don't know how you're going to pay those fees. What is your biggest fear? And fight it, because just because you fear something, it does not mean that it's not going to come into reality. It's going to creep up on you, because the problem is we mask over it. We put a carpet over it and we act like our insecurities don't exist. We act like we're perfect human beings. I'm okay. I'm not a jealous person. I'm okay. I'm okay financially. You know, I'm all right. I don't fear that. A lot of people could be in a better place today if you worked on your insecurities. Because if you don't work on them, they come back as demons. And they come back 10 times stronger than that. Right? So I got some points down here. Right? So the third thing is you got to give up something. Like, you got to give up something. There's people, there's habits that if we could cut out today, it's going to hurt for like probably 3 days, but you're going to be okay. Because you're trying to get to the next level. You're trying to get to a place of your dreams, right? There's things that if we would cut off today, we're going to hurt for like 3 days or so, but we're going to be okay. Right? Invest in something you should be investing, and control something that you should be controlling. Right? Some people have relatives, and I always say this: if you have a family member, if you have a friend, if you have a relative that's always rushing your success, it's toxic. Because check this out, you're going to be so frustrated with God that you're not getting to where they need to get you, and you might miss your biggest blessing that He's trying to cook for you just because of human. So what I'm trying to say is you got to give up something. You're sitting here, you're worried about, or you're insecure about your modules, you might have to give up sleep. You might have to give up looking cool, right? You might have to give up something. Okay, you might have to cut out some people in your life that are not getting you to where you want to get to. But you got to give up something, right? You got to offer something, a little price for salvation. I'm not trying to be biblical about this, right? So check this out. After that, so I get it, you spoke to God, you worked on your insecurities, and you probably cut out a couple of habits. After you done what you think is important, maybe you can focus on what's really important, right? So after you're done with what you think is important, maybe you can focus on what's really important, right? And just to put a little context in this, right? When I was doing my first year, I noticed a habit, right? So I came here, like, it was a blessing to come here, right? I'm not gonna mention any names, but some guy gave me an opportunity, right? Just to register, just to come in, and I saw big cities, and I was happy. In fact, I was grateful for the opportunity for like 2 months. And I found myself losing myself because when I walked around campus, people dressed better than me. I had shorts on and I had like flip-flops on that I had for several years. Ask my best friend, he'll tell you about it. So I walked in here and I wanted to look cool because I was the guy. And they had the latest shoes or whatsoever. And I noticed something. The more I worked on my swag, or the more I worked on how I dressed or how I looked, my grades dropped. My marks dropped. Like, I moved from an 80 to a 70, from a 70 to a 60 to a 50. And I had to pick up that habit real quick, right? Also, another thing that happened, so I picked that up a bit, but it was on my first year, and I made it on my first year. I didn't know my results, I didn't pay, and all of that other stuff. But get this. I was so focused on what I'm going to wear for my second year. Oh, I need to get that shoe. Oh, that's latest. I'm going to work on that. You know, I'm just going to dress up like this. I want to change up my wardrobe a bit. And then I got a call, and then this guy was like, you know what? I really appreciate the fact that you've been pushing so hard to school. I'm afraid I can't pay for you anymore because I've relocated. I got a new job and I bought a new house. And at that time, I got 5 distinctions. And he was like, you're doing really great. You need to speak just to a couple of people. You're doing really great. Speak to NSLs. I'm sure they can help you. basically, good luck, and I'm proud of you. So I was trying to dress up for campus, but at that point, campus got taken away. So I thought it was important to dress better, but the opportunity went away. So after you're done with what you think is important, maybe you can focus on what's important. Someone right here, I'm sure you can think about 3 people that you love and 3 people that you care about. Think about them. Like every single morning, think about them. Right? So check this out. My second point is you telling the wrong people the right information. Like I get you trying to grow, but every single morning when we get up, probably 90% of the world, you check your phone. In your phone, there's contacts. In those contacts, it's about probably 90 people that know you, where you are, how you grew up. Those are friends, those are family, right? And every single day on social media, they probably dominate like 80% or 90% of your social media. So every single day you're like, hey, went for a jog, I'm doing great in my life. You're trying to change people's opinion, and it's already fixed. It's already made up on you. You're trying to be a CEO. You learned a new skill. You read 5 books, and you're posting it to the wrong people. You're trying to be a CEO. How many CEOs do you know? How many people that you're trying to get somewhere? Internal auditors. How many internal auditors do you know? How many internal auditors are you trying to impress? Are you trying to get in their space? If you want to hunt with lions, you got to roll with lions. So you're sitting with people. I'm trying to get funds. I'm sitting with people who don't have funds. How are we going to move forward? But if you sit with someone with the bursary, he can tell you how he applied. He can tell you what documents that you need. So you're in a space, you're giving the right people the right information. I've grown, I'm doing, and it's fixed. You're not going to change. Your mom will always love you. And the people that hate you will always hate you. That's the same people that text back, oh, I thought you were unemployed. How did you get that Gucci belt? And you're a joke. And that kills your motivation. Every single time you try to do something good for yourself, it kicks you down because you're telling the right information to the wrong people. So I'm here to tell you today that I had to speak with lecturers. First day when I walked in, I realized I need to be something. I was never number 1 in anything. I was never number 1 in sports. I was never number 1 in education. My high school life, I was never number 1 in anything. When I got here, I was like, it's showtime. I got 6 months. And I got like probably just the registration fee, but I'm gonna know every lecture. I spoke to Ms. Jal. I was like, yo, I'm good. I can make it through every module. I just don't have fees. When I walked in, I made sure I'm proper. You gotta get characteristics of a millionaire before you become a millionaire. Because ain't nobody that's gonna respect you. When you walk in, be worth $1 million before you get the millions. Right? So you gotta build yourself, right? So you're telling the right information to the wrong people. You might need to change your crowds, right? And my last point for today is principles over feelings. Because at the end of feelings is nothing. But at the end of a principle is a promise, right? To make this easy, how many people have ever felt that love that's so good? Like you had love for somebody that you wish that it never went away. Like you were so sure that this is it. Right? And you fought for it. If you have to fight for something, fight for your dreams. You had to fight for it. You tried to be a better person, and they still went away. They still left you. If you married or you divorced, they still left you. Right? At the end of all that love, what was there? Nothing. So what I'm trying to say today is you have to go to school tomorrow. You're feeling sleepy. You're feeling tired. At the end of being tired is nothing. Do not give up your dreams for an extra 30 minutes of sleep. Because tomorrow you're not going to justify it. Your kids are broke. Dad, how come you speak of goals? Or mom, how come you speak of achieving it? And what you're going to say, well, I slept at the 30 minutes and here we are. Excuses. Remove excuses. Every single day, try and strive for excellence. Remove excuses. If you want to use the letter E, use it for execution. I got a plan. This is how I'll execute it. I'm trying to be number 1 in my class. So I'll have to go every single day to the library. I don't care whatever party that's going on. Or you know what? Don't throw it all away. You know what? Let me party once. Okay, I'm just going to maybe 1 party in this month. And then I'll just work on myself like that. You always got to dress up for where you're going while you are where you are. And that's when you're going to feel out of place. We don't know her anymore. She studies too much. Who she thinks she's going to be. That's when you know that you're out of place because you dress for where you're going. And they start feeling intimidated. They start judging you. That's when you know that you know what, you're leveling up. I'm going somewhere right now. They try to pull you down. Oh, I miss the old you. You have to outlast your old you to get to your new you. And that's it, basically, right? So, principle over feelings. They say if you work hard, you're going to get it. There's a lot of people that did that. What happens when we try? What happens when we give chance? Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, he tried. He made it. What happens when we try? What happens when we try? Usain Bolt, he made it. Oprah Winfrey. What happens when we try? Trevor Noah, he's making it. What happens when we try? We are powerful beyond measure. And you just don't realize that. We are powerful beyond measure. If you could just give it a try, maybe your second try if your first try doesn't work, or maybe your third try, or maybe your fourth try. Maybe that's the part where you were going to make it, but you gave up too quick. So I'm telling you today that don't give up. If you have to fight for something, fight for your dreams. If you have to fight for something, fight for your dreams. And it's a suffocating process. And I get it and I understand it. And sometimes you want to quit, but never quit. Never, ever quit, right? Thanks for your time. I'm Zolile Pangwa, and that's my best friend, Zico Mtsetswa, and we are up to 27 Motivation. Thanks for your time.